Hey you guys, it's Jen, and I had something happen today, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it because I think it was a really good lesson for me and my kids and my husband, frankly. My daughter had this event today that she had to go to, and it was a really big event, and it was far from our house. And so I dropped her off, and I told her I was going to wait for her in the parking lot. And I said, I'm just going to take my computer and I'm going to work out in the parking lot. And when you're done, call me and I'll come and get you. And so I'm sitting out in the parking lot and I've got the windows down. It's a beautiful day and I'm sitting out there doing my work. And the event is really busy and the parking lot is very full, but there's nobody out there in the parking lot with me. And I hear voices and I look up and there's this couple coming towards me. And it's a young, sort of, I would say college age girl and an older man that could be like her dad, old enough to be her dad. And they're coming towards me and I hear them talking about that they've lost a car. And I'm trying not to really be nosy or pay attention. And I'm just trying to do my work. And I hear him, I see him pull out his remote and he clicks it and I hear an alarm go off a couple rows over. So he's like, oh, there's my car. Now you just have to find your car. And as soon as he said that, she burst into tears. And I saw her burst into tears. And then I just sort of looked away because I thought, oh gosh, I don't need to be like all nosy up in her business, about this. And then it got real quiet. And then I heard him say something about hugs are free. I have an unlimited supply. If you need more of them, just ask, just let me know. And, and then he walked away and like 10 seconds later, she's at my window of my car and she was like, hi, can I just stand here for a few minutes, please? And I'm like, yeah, like, are you okay? Like my mind is thinking like, am I getting jacked right now? Like, what the heck is happening? So I was like, what's going on? And so she's like, I don't know that guy. I don't know him at all. And he just hugged me and he kissed me on my head and I don't know him and I don't want to be near him. And I was like, holy shit. So I was like, man, I saw you guys. Like I heard him. I thought it was creepy as hell, but I thought it was your dad. Like I did not know that this was a thing. And she's like, yeah, no, I don't know him at all. So I was like, okay, don't worry. You're with me now. Like we're going to be fine. So she tells me this whole story about that her car, she thinks now it might be stolen, but she's been looking all over and he's been following her around the parking lot, offering to help her. She doesn't want his help, blah, blah, blah. So now she's like, and I'm thinking I'm going to call the police and have them help me find my car. So I was like, yeah, I think that's a good idea. So she's ready to call the police and the dude shows back up again. And now he's like, and so she's kind of like out in the lane and because she's still like looking around hoping like her car will like magically appear or something. And I'm still in my car and I'm just like sort of watching and I'm still trying to get some work done. And all of a sudden the dude's at my window and he's like, did she find her car? And I'm like, whoa. And so I said, well, you know what? We think it might be stolen. And so actually, police are on their way. And so he's like, oh. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, did you find your car? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, good. Well, then let's not keep you. Let's get you on your way. Have a great day. Thanks for your help. And I'm sort of like giving him the hint that he should go. And he's like, well, I need to say goodbye to her. He's like, I'm a polite person. I need to say goodbye. And so he moved to go towards her. I tell you what, people, I am not a fast woman. I am not. Some would say lumber is the word when you would think of me. I move so fast. I don't know how I did it. I jumped out of my car and I got between him and her. And I was like, whoa. I was like, I got this. And he was like, what? And I'm like, I'm taking care of it now. Like your help is no longer required. We have this. Thank you. You may go now. And so he was like, well, I'm just trying to be polite. And I was like, well, polite people keep their hands to themselves. And he was like, what? And he's like, I was raised to be polite. And I said, okay, great. Keep your hands to yourself. And so he moved away from us and he's kind of grumbling and he's kind of, shaking his head at, how crazy I am. And he gets to the end of the lane and he turns around and then he said, if I offended you, I apologize. And I'm thinking to myself, like, who are you talking to? Are you talking to me or are you talking to her? And she said, it's okay. And I get it. Like, I understand why she did that. She wanted to diffuse the situation and she wanted him to keep moving and not come back. And she didn't want to fight with the dude. And I get that. But it's not okay. here's the thing, guys. Like, I know that you guys all feel like you're under attack and that you can't do anything right, but I don't care. Before the Me Too movement and all that stuff, it was never okay to hug and kiss a strange woman in an empty parking lot. Never. That's never been okay. That's never been a thing. Like, you may still hold doors open. You may still get, people their drinks refilled. You may even offer to help her find her car. But here's the thing, like, you ask and you listen to what she says. And if she says, no, thank you, I don't need your help, then you move on. Or you don't just keep following her around the parking lot offering to help. And you definitely don't hug someone. I've been trying to work with my son about consensual touch, and that, he's all about the signals. Well, I was pretty sure you wanted me to hug you. You know what? Here's the thing. Signals get misread all the time. But when you hug someone and they tense up, that is a definite signal that you cannot miss. That is, let go of me. And I could tell just by the body language that she had when I saw her with him, and I didn't see them hug, but I saw when he came back the second time. I mean, she was cowering from him. Like, she was afraid of him. And how he couldn't see that, I don't know. And if he is truly a polite guy, as he says he is, then he should have noticed that. And he should have backed off and been like, my mistake, I apologize, I misunderstood. Something like that. But to keep coming back and to keep pushing at it, that was not okay. The other lesson I learned today was that you need to ask for help, because you can't just assume that everybody is aware of what's going on. I sat there 5 feet from these people, and I didn't want to be nosy, and I didn't want to get involved in their stuff. Yeah, I thought the exchange was creepy when he told her he had unlimited free hugs. But I was like, you do you, man, right? I don't want to get into people's business. If that's how your relationship is, that's how your relationship is. But for her to come over and ask me for help, like, that was the exact right thing to do. Like, she did the exact thing. You should always find a mom in a minivan, because we have no more fucks to give. And we will go mama bear so fast on someone's ass, you won't even know what happened to you. I mean, I was so glad that she asked for help. I was so glad that she stayed there and let me help her. I did not hug her. I really wasn't even going to get out of my car until I had to get between the two of them. In the end, she found her car. It was over on the other side of the parking lot. Her sister found the car and called her and told her where it was. But she was actually afraid to walk across the parking lot at that point. And so she was and I could tell she was hesitant to go. And I said, you know what? Let me lock up all my stuff here in my car, and I will walk across the parking lot with you. I will go with you. Because all I could think is, if this was my kid, what would I want someone to do? Wouldn't I want someone to be there for her or him? And so I said, let me shut my computer down and I'll walk over there with you. But right around that time, a friend of hers showed up and they were able to get her where she needed to go. But, good for her for asking for help and for understanding that she felt uncomfortable. I am not saying at all that this man was dangerous. I'm not even saying that he was a creeper. I'm just saying he made her uncomfortable. He crossed a line that she had drawn and she felt uncomfortable. And so she had the sense to ask for help. She couldn't push back on him herself, and she knew that. And so she had to ask for help. And I am so glad that she asked for help. And I hope that from now on, I will be more aware of that, and I will try to be, remember when we were kids and they used to have like those little triangle things where they'd be like, this is a safe place or something, you could go ask for help. Like, I want to put one of those in the back of my minivan and be like, hop in and I will drive you to safety. Because like, it was so crazy that this was happening right in front of me and I didn't notice it. And so I think that this is something I want to teach my kids about asking for help, because I think at the end of the day, my kids are really shy, and we tell them, don't talk to strangers, but yet sometimes you have to. And I'm always telling my kids that, like, a mom in a minivan or a mom with a stroller or a mom with other kids, like, she's a safe bet, probably. She's probably going to help you. And if you feel uncomfortable or you feel nervous or scared or frightened, please find me in my minivan. I'm always out there working in my minivan while my kids are off doing something. So please find me and ask me for help, because I will always help you. Okay? Bye, guys.